Welcome back. You're live with Expresso, of course, on a Black Friday. I hope you've got your green and gold on, or at least are going to be putting it on this morning. The Springboks facing off against Japan. A bit of grudge match, yeah. Can lightning strike twice? We just don't know, but it's a very important warm-up match for Bok coach Rassie Erasmus. He's named pretty formidable team to take on the Cherry Blossoms. Then, of course, Siya Kolisi back on the field as captain, which we love. You might remember, or you might have blocked out in your memory back in 2015, the Boks narrowly losing out to Japan, but of course a big rugby weekend, as well as we've got the Currie Cup final, the ultimate cat fight. And we've got Wynona Louw now joining us in studio to talk rugger, because this is a cool time to be a rugby fan. It's an even better time to be a rugby writer. I suppose the most important question is, do you think that we will ever in our lives see a repeat of what happened in 2015? This is a very different match, very different team, very different landscape.
No, definitely. I think we'll never see a repeat again, but we'll also never forget it.
Yeah, good, and never should.
Yeah, no. In fact, there's that movie hitting the screen soon, A Brighton Miracle. So I don't think they're going to allow us to forget about that. But no, different squad, different, just all vibes different under Rassie, so I don't think so.
Different context, and he has named a very strong team as well. Is this team the team? We've been loving the fact that we've got such a depth of squad now that he can pretty much, I've been using the term horses for courses, he can pick form on the day. Literally, you can look at a shadow run and say, okay, he's looking sharp. Is this the team that you see leading us through the critical phases? What's most exciting about this team, and what do you think it reveals about Rassie's mindset?
Well, firstly, if you just look obviously at the, I do think this is, the best team we could have picked. Obviously, there are guys who were a bit unlucky, guys like your Damon Willemses, your Lisa Gqobokas, those kind of guys, even someone like Warren Whiteley, but of course injuries stepped in there. Yeah. I do think, obviously there's perhaps going to still be a bit of rotation in terms of, this game and maybe then the next game, like with Kwagga and Francois Louw, how that's going to work. But I do think, we have everything when it comes to the loose trio, the pack. I mean, the depth we have in the front row, for example, even at loose forward. And then, of course, your inside centres and that back row, or the back three especially, it's going to be massive. And I think that's the one thing that we maybe didn't have last time, just that firepower, that strike power, or we did have it, but you didn't really see those guys, come into play and get those chances, someone like Cheslin Colby. So I think it's, there's going to be a lot of excitement around the squad.
I'm glad you mentioned Cheslin, because his role might come to be in a different way, because he's so utility. But he has got a spark. There is something about him at the moment. He's always been dynamic, but he seems to have a kind of maturity now that's matching his raw pace, his ability to think, who are you most excited about? Who's the X-factor player that is going to win this, or maybe make a name for themselves, etch their name in history during this World Cup, do you think?
I think, someone like Herschel Jantjies, just the way he comes, and just, he's a very opportunistic player, he's always on the ball, he's always ready to pounce. And even someone like Cheslin, I think he's kind of become like the Springbok spirit animal, just the way, he kind of, even if you don't give them much of a chance, that draw against New Zealand, for example, and how, he and Herschel Jantjies just orchestrated that last piece of play for that try. So I think, a lot of it's going to be built around that, whoever handles the pressure best, and also just, it's going to come down to those moments, because if you look at the Springboks attack, there hasn't really been anything, outstanding about it, but if you look at some of the tries they've scored, they've been really superb.
Well, the structures are there. We just need the individuals to stand up and enjoy themselves. And it does look like they're loving it. And great to see Siya obviously back at the helm. Currie Cup final. This is so awesome to see the different narrative for the two different teams. A young Lions side, and we love the fact that the Lions have become a breeding ground for superb young players. We dig that. But the Cheetahs look like almost a Super Rugby team playing in a provincial competition. Are they the favourites out and out?
No, I think so. I think so, definitely. And also, if you look at, this is like the first season since they've been, or since they've joined the Pro 14, where they've actually had, their full strength side available.
And they were put through the fire with the Pro 14,
And also, look, I'm not writing the Lions off completely. I do think it's again going to come down to pressure. Even though they are playing away from home, they've done very well, away from their home ground, the Lions this season. And there was also that earlier win against the Cheetahs. So, but I think, if you look at how the Cheetahs can close a game out, especially in those last 10, 10,
How
20,
that
30
front
minutes.
row takes a pop-up break ball.
Yeah, and it's just like, you know, they can shift their points of attack, they can attack from anywhere, and just their set piece has been excellent. So I think, and especially like you said, the front row now, you know, a guy like Joseph Dweba, he's been massive.
He's been incredible.
So he's been massive. So I think, you know, there's just X factor all round.
Can we say ox and chair, because we can't talk about Currie Cup without saying ox, but you've got players that are getting their job done, but then are also providing a layer over and above that.
Sure,
I think one guy who might shift the momentum is Sean Reynolds, who I think has been a superb. You talk about those pop-up passes, his ability to control a game.
Yes.
Such a big guy, he's got a very deft touch. And Tyron Green as well, his kicking has suddenly took, in the semi-final, seemed to tactically take a quantum leap forward. It's going to be very, very interesting, but I'm not going to ask your head, I'm going to ask your heart. Who do you think has got this Currie Cup final?
If I look at that line's outfit, you know, it's like some of the back line especially. But I'm going to go with the Cheetahs. I think they've just been, you know, in terms of just stepping up and, you know, just kind of striking in those last few minutes. I think, yeah, Cheetahs.
Would you have a very quick gander at a scoreline for the Springboks against Japan? What is your... And as a South African, not as a rugby writer.
34 all. No, I'm joking. Give us 2 points this time. No, I'm joking. I think I'm going to be bold and say Springboks by 20.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to say
Springboks by 20.
Push well into 50s and above.
Oh,
I love you, girl.
Yeah.
I love you, girl.
Least, yeah.
Wherever your heart is, there is so much to be excited about. Of course, the Rugby World Cup countdown has officially begun. Get your green and gold on. Why? Because we are stronger together.